Okay, here we go. Fifth and final video for our bad weather day, Thursday. Hope you stayed warm, stayed safe. Let's take a look at this final exercise and get ready for class next week. So in this exercise, we're looking at a review program and trying to balance this idea that, some enrollment comes in at the last minute. How do we plan for that? How do we not have too many books on hand? How do we juggle this dynamic so that we're not losing too much money? So let's take a look at how this kind of comes together and some decisions that we can make based on this data. So I've populated this spreadsheet here. Our tuition revenue, $860 per each student that enrolls. Our teaching expense, $21,000. The cost of our book in this example, $52. That's what we're going to start with. We'll see how that varies as we get into further iterations of this. Our other operating expenses, $32,000 per course, per session that we hold. So the first item that we wanted to look at was, what if we have 100 students enroll? So what if we have 100 students enroll? What does that mean? That means that we're going to have $860 for each of those students. So we're going to have $86,000 in revenue. We're going to pay our teaching expenses. We're going to have not only the 100 books for the students that enroll, but also our buffer, our extra books. So our books are going to cost us $5,720, and our other operating expenses are going to be there as well. So the extra books here that actually are going to go unused if we don't have those extra 10 folks show up, that's going to be our waste, right? So that $520 is going to be a waste in this first example as we look at how the parts and pieces come together. Okay, so again, really the only multiplication that we have to do here revolves around our books and our tuition revenue. So we'll copy this tab over so that we can start to look at some different versions of this. So we have 7B now. So 7B, we have an income statement assuming that 115 students attempt to enroll in the course, but 5 students are turned away because of too few textbooks. So what if we actually fill those 10 spots, but we miss out on those last 5? So we're going to fill up the 110. We're not going to have any extra books. We're just basically saying if our enrollment matched up to those extra books that we did purchase. So again, our teaching expense remains the same. Our other operating expenses remain the same. The cost of our books at that 110 enrollment, what happens then? Well, we will generate a net income of $35,880. Okay. Now, what if we could have accepted those students and had the books for them? What does that look like? Well, part C of that then, or part part B2, however you want to call it. What if we had 115 students, had the books for those 115 students, and we were good to go with that? How does that work out? Well, our net income goes up again, all the way up to $39,920. So then the next question is really, well, what did it cost us? What did we lose out on when we had to turn away those 5 students? Here we had to turn them away. Here we were able to bring them into the course. So turned away net income, you could say, if we wanted to call it something, was only $35,000. 880. So what's that equate to? Well, so the cost to turn them away was in essence the difference in the net income, or $4,040. So by not being able to accept those students, we were out of $4,000 in net income and profit. So pretty significant there. Kind of puts a hurt on our operation. So let's see here. The next scenario is that what if we were able to switch over and use this high-speed printing process that changes the cost of our books. So let's take a look at that. What if we're not, let's sit tight on our enrollment for right now. We're not too worried about that part right now yet either. So what if our cost for our book went up to $57? What does this start to look like? What if we had 100 students? Okay, 100 students. We need no extra because we're just in time. We have just the books we need. We have no waste. We have our tuition revenue. We have our increased costs of our books here. And we generate a net income of $27,300. So to begin with, we're going to do a lot of number crunching, and then at the end, we'll kind of come back to looking at how do all these balances and numbers kind of equate back out. What are some decisions that we could make? What's our best alternative to maximize our profits here? So then the next scenario is, what if we had 115 students come in at this high cost book? What does that scenario look like? So let's see here, we're up to number 4, I guess now. So if we have 115 students, what's that mean? What's that look like? Well, our revenue goes kind of through the roof, right? We have a lot of students coming. Our book cost goes up, but everything else is remaining constant. Oh, by the way, our 5th and final word for your email, for your email string, is everyone. Your 5th and final word is everyone. Okay, so back to the story here. Back to this problem is that what if we're able to, with this just-in-time inventory system, we never have to turn away any students. So what if we have 115 students that show up, we pay the extra cost for the book, what's our income look like? Well, we're able to generate $39,345 in net income. We're able to capture those 115 students. We still are only paying our teaching expense of $21,000, our other operating of $32,000, our higher book costs for that increased enrollment. So our net income in that scenario would be all the way up to $39,345. Now, the last requirement looks for us to do is, which system is better, just in time or the traditional system? And the reason the just-in-time system wins out, and the reason why that's our favorable option, is because that last scenario. In the event that we can only accept 110, we're bound by that. We have that upper limit that prevents us from taking those extra 5 students. So if we come back here to where we had 110 students, we turned those 5 away, we only had $35,000 in net income. Where if we're able to accept every student that tries to enroll, our net income can go all the way up to $39,345. So significantly more net income, which is obviously advantageous to us as a business. So again, I'd encourage you, take another look at any of these videos. I know, as I mentioned earlier, some of them I kind of went through rather quickly, just in an effort to try and meet the time requirement. But when we get back together in class next week, we'll be going over Chapter 11 and starting conversations related to that. So have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm, although the cold weather's supposed to be kind of coming to an end here. So take care. See you next week back in class.